Did you know
Followers of Christ?
were called something else before they were called Christians? I don't mean when they were called disciple or apostle, but if you want to learn some true facts about the first followers of Yeshua, listen up. Now we know that he is the truth, the way, and the life. Now he said that those are his know his voice and listen. John 10:27 reads, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." So in Acts 9:12 through 14, Yeshua spoke to a man named Ananias through a vision, instructing him to go to a street called Straight in Damascus, where Shaul or Saul, or later to be Paul, was. Ananias knew it was Yeshua speaking to him right off because he is one of his, and he wanted him to go and lay hands on Paul so that he regained his sight. Paul was a Pharisee, which was a person very well versed in the law, or the Torah, and his zeal for Yahuwah drove him to persecute anyone who followed after this sect of people professing Christ to be the Son of Yah. The elders thought that it was blasphemous to say such a thing. But anyway, Ananias was like, "Are you sure that you want me to go and find this man who tortures people who follow you?" And so Acts 9:14, it says, Ananias says, "And now he is here with authority from the chief priest to arrest all who call on your name." So was he talking about Christians? Well, Paul was known for his persecution of people who follow Yeshua. In Acts 9:1 and 2, it says, "Now Saul, still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord, went to the high priest and asked for letters from him to the synagogues at Damascus, so that if he found any belonging to the way, both men and women, he might bring them bound to Jerusalem." Paul was imprisoning them and having them killed. Even Stephen, when he was stoned to death for speaking about Yeshua or Christ, and dragged out of the city. Those who stoned him laid down their coats at the feet of a man called Saul, or Paul. On the way to Damascus to go and persecute Christ's followers, Saul or Paul, his sight was taken from him after hearing from Yeshua. In Acts 26:9 through 18, it says, Paul entails his encounter to King Agrippa. "I verily thought with myself, and I ought to do many things contrary to the name of Yeshua of Nazareth, which thing I also did in Jerusalem, and many of the saints did I shut up in prison, having received authority from the chief priests. And when they were come and put to death, I gave my voice against them. And I punished them oft, which was often, in every single synagogue, and compelled them to blaspheme, and being exceedingly mad against them, I persecuted them even unto strange cities. Whereupon, as I went to Damascus with authority and commission from the chief priests, at midday, O king, I saw in the way a light from heaven, above the brightness of the sun, shining round about me and them which journeyed with me. And when they were all fallen to the earth, for they were afraid, I heard a voice speaking unto me and saying in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And I said, Who art thou, Lord? And he said, I am Yeshua, from whom thou persecutest. Arise and stand up upon thy feet, for I have appeared unto thee for this purpose, to make thee a minister and a witness both of these things which thou hast seen, and of those things in which I will appear unto thee, delivering thee from the people and from the Gentiles, unto whom now I send thee, to open their eyes, and to turn them from darkness to light, and from the power of the adversary unto Yahuwah, that they may receive forgiveness of sins, and inheritance among them which are sanctified by faith that is in me. So the Gentiles also were welcome. Hopefully by now it's registering what these followers were called. But to further drive this home, Acts 19:9 says, But when some were becoming hardened and disobedient, speaking evil of the way before the people, he withdrew from them and took away the disciples, reasoning daily in the school of Tyrannus. Who is the way, the truth, and the life, beloved? Here's another confirmation of what they were called. In Acts 19:21 through 23, it says, After these things were ended, Paul purposed in the Spirit, when he had passed through Macedonia and Achaia, to go to Jerusalem, saying, after I have been there, I must also see Rome. So he went to Macedonia, 2 of them that ministered unto him, Timotheus and Erastus, but he himself stayed in Asia for a season. About that time there occurred no small disturbance concerning the way. This Paul again in Acts 24:14 says, but this I admit to you, that according to the way which they call a sect, I do serve the Most High of our fathers, becoming everything that is in accordance with the law and that is written in the prophets. So Paul was not only the one who knew these followers of Christ and didn't address them as Christians, okay, but others did. Acts 24:22 says, but Felix, a procurator during the time of Paul, had to defend himself, Paul had to defend himself at trial, having a more exact knowledge about the way, put them off, saying, when Lysias the commander comes down, I will decide your case. So the term Christian was mentioned 3 times throughout scriptures. However, the apostles themselves never addressed one another with this label. Acts 11:25 and 26 read, then departed Barnabas to Tarsus for to seek Saul. And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. Okay, not Jerusalem, but Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church, which is an assembly of believers, and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. They didn't call themselves that. Now, do this, beloved. Do a quick Google search for who decided to call Christ followers Christian in Antioch. And the first bishop of Antioch was Evodius. He gave the name Christians to the growing Christian community in Antioch. This man, known as Saint Evodius of Antioch, is an important figure in Catholic tradition. See, the apostles didn't call themselves by this label. The Roman Catholic Church implemented this. All who have read scriptures know that Yahuwah is the God of Israel. Christ came for the children of Israel, even though he later came for everyone. He spoke in the native tongue of Hebrew. Acts 26:14 says, and when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me and saying in Hebrew tongue. So you see, they were speaking in the native tongue, not in Greek, which would be Christos. So it would not have been Christos or Christ or Christians. It would have been Messianics or something. So if you've taken notice, I call him Christ sometimes just to be respectful and try to be in one accord with people, because all walks can accept that he is the anointed one. I said, I have a belief, as you I learned together in one accord, that our relationship with the Creator and the Son can only grow in truth. It's like meeting someone through a middleman, sort of how people set you up, for a blind date, and they fill the both of you in on one another, but they use like a nickname or a surname, all the while as your interest grows for one another, you desire to know more and more about this person. And then there comes a point when you want to move the middleman out of the way and get to know the person directly, because up until then, you only knew some things about them. Now, as your interest grows, you want to know all you can, but you want it to be in truth directly and not secondhand. So I want to spark an interest within you so that you say to yourself, I didn't know this, or what else can I learn about the Savior that I've not really paid attention to, or haven't been taught in truth and, not changed into something else. So you don't have to grab onto a title created by some man who initially was not even a true follower of Yeshua, because again, this Saint Evodius, clearly a Catholic, who do not worship the Father in truth and in spirit as true believers do. You're actually following Catholicism, but you just don't know it. Scriptures say the hour is coming, and it is here now, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. It's time. For the Father seeks such as these to worship him. Yahuwah is spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. Beloved, what else has been changed over into the Greek Hellenized name? What other information has been converted over into their language that you don't know? I really hope this helped you to know that you don't have to pick a label. You don't have to choose a side, because think about this. Think logically. There are almost 8 billion people on earth. A quarter of that are Christians. All right. Christ said, many will come in my name. Okay. Christians, right? Originated through Roman Catholicism. Okay. The people that bow down to images. This is why many of you have those images in your Apostolic, your Baptist, your Protestant, your Methodist, your all the different churches. This is why you have those images. And this is why you only know him halfway through the second writings. Okay, you're taught that you don't need to do the Old Testament. He's in the whole of the book. When you really want to know something about someone, you don't want to just know about their life after they turn 15. You want to know about their childhood, if they had any trauma. You want to know all you can know. So again, I'm hoping that this sparks you, something inside of you, to begin to search scriptures and see the different things that were omitted by our leaders. Okay? And you can learn in truth. All right? I really hope this helped you. Again, you don't have to pick a side. You don't even have to be non-denominational. They want you to pick something. But again, these followers were called the way because they followed the way, Christ, who is the way, the truth, and the life. All right. I hope this blessed you. Blessings to you and your family. See you later. Bye.